There has been too many issues, too many problems, too many things popping up. This, I don't know, the last couple of months here in Philadelphia sports that have just made me look around and go, is this everybody's first day? And like, there's examples I brought up before, like Joe Duran coming in to pitch in a non-safe situation for the Phillies against the Washington Nationals there, and he took the line drive off his foot, and everyone's like, it's not a safe situation. Why is it? Well, he hasn't worked in days, so they want to get him in. That's what they do in baseball. Is this your first day? This is what you do in baseball. And then there's been things that have happened throughout this Eagles season that have made me go, wait, is this everybody's first? Like, we're going to continue with Kevin Patullo as the play call? Like, this is so unbelievably obvious to me that Kevin Patullo cannot call plays. It's ridiculous. And then you go into this game against, and they keep it going throughout the entire year. Week 18 is now past. That's who the play caller was all year. And then you go into this game here where you have something to play for as a football team. You have a better seed. You have the chance to win that. All you need to do is, I don't know, a division rival game to be weird, which they all are, and the Lions to beat the Bears in that weird division game. And sure enough, the Lions beat the Bears. The door is open of opportunity for the Philadelphia Eagles. And instead of actually putting your players in the best possible position to have success, which is an easier road through the playoffs, where instead of two teams you got to worry about getting knocked off at the 1 and 2 seed, you don't only have to worry about one team getting knocked off, which is very possible. And instead of doing that, you play your backups. And then in some areas, like Ja'Cory and Bennett, you're playing your backups backup. All right? I know you have a steady rotation of defensive linemen, but this is not how you win a football game. And you know how you don't win a football game, and you know how also you don't put your players in the best possible position to have success? You have Tanner McKee throw the football 41 times. And you have him throw the football 41 times when he clearly did not look ready for the day. I like Tanner McKee, and I'm not going to go down the avenue of making him pay for others' sins. Like, I'm not going to pile on Tanner McKee when other people might do that because, see, you wanted him to start. This is who you want. This is your king. This is your king. This is who you wanted to start over Jalen Hurts. Not going to do that because the Tanner McKee doesn't deserve it. He does deserve to be criticized if he didn't play well, and he did not play particularly well in this game. We'll go through it. But you asked him to throw the football 41 times when Tank Bigsby was averaging 4.7 yards per carry. Really? Really? Kevin Patullo? Really? Nick Sirianni? That was the route? That was the route you were going to go? And the fact that they kept up that type of play calling in the second half after that atrocious interception from Tanner McKee. I mean, that was bad. That was the worst throw of the season. Jalen Hurts' interception against the Giants in the Meadowlands, that was a terrible decision, a terrible throw, terrible read, all that. Tanner McKee throwing into 4 Washington Commanders? Okay. All right. Well, I thought he was going to play better than what I saw. I will say that. I mean, if I saw the stat sheet before the game, if I could somehow go into the future and grab the box score and then come back here and be like, 41 times, that seems like much. I wouldn't want that. I guess he was really doing well. Nope, not really. Tank Bigsby is averaging 4.7 yards per carry. Hey, here's an idea. At 3rd and 1 in the red zone, maybe not rely on, Tanner McKee to make 2 plays for you. Maybe don't do that. 3rd and 1, you have 2 running backs in the backfield, Will Shipley and Tank Bigsby split out there, flanking Tanner McKee there, right? And they go with a half-assed read option, which you should have just handed the ball to Tank Bigsby, it would have been. And instead, then you have Tanner McKee roll out to nothing. There was nothing there for him. And then, all right, so that happened. And then 4th and 1 on this little series I'm talking about here in the red zone, Tanner McKee has to throw it, nothing there. 4th and 1. Could have just taken the points. Could have just taken the points, because you have your backup quarterback playing. And then later in the second quarter, late in the second quarter, after Jalen Hutton comes up with a interception, you then decide on 3rd and 10, Tanner McKee, to throw it into 4 white shirts. Not great. Not great. But again, a lot of this comes down to play calling being straight cheeks in this game. But the thing I won't be able to so once you put away the idea of corners, of the terrible play calling, once you put away the idea of the decision, which, by the way, does anyone actually believe that Nick Sirianni made the decision independently to rest starters? Do you think really Nick went and told Howie and Jeffrey, hey, we got the number 2 seed there for, we can have it for the taking. We want to make sure we have everybody fresh, though, for the playoffs. So we're not going to go for the easier route through the playoffs. Instead, we just want to make sure that we're well rested for, the first game. That's what we want to make sure. Oh, so none of your starters are going to play? Oh, no, some of the starters are going to play. Like, who's going to play? Devontae Smith. Why? Well, you go for 1,000 yards. So Saquon Barkley had NFL history for the taking last year, and he didn't play him. Yeah, it's different. We'll be safe with him. Safe with him? Really? Okay. A couple of out routes. Then all of a sudden, the deep ball between a cornerback and a safety. Safeties don't ever get penalties for targeting or anything like that. You really think that was all Nick Sirianni? This was an organizational decision to sit the starters. So, but anyway, I digress. Once you put that away as well, I don't think anybody showed their ass more than the backup corners in yesterday's game. Keely Ringo, who played 100% of the defensive snaps, by the way, Jacorian Bennett, and also Mac McWilliams, okay, the rookie. 1, 2, 3, 4 pass interference calls for these fellas. Okay. Jacorian Bennett added 23 yards. Mac McWilliams added 19 yards. Jacorian Bennett, another 4 yards. Keely Ringo, 32 yards. Those are all 23, 29, 4, 32. Those are all the yards that they were kind enough to give Josh Johnson and the Washington Commanders offense yesterday. On a number of plays there, I would say at least 3 out of these 4 plays that could have been solved if they would have just, maintained somewhat decent position that they had and attempted to read the wide receiver's eyes and turn around and try to make a play on the football. Even if you're not reading his eyes, because what they're teaching wide receivers is don't show your hands early because they know then the ball's definitely coming. That's when they can turn around and try to make a play. The other is don't make your eyes go real big. Stay cool. But the minute they start fighting for position with their eyes trying to track a ball, it's coming, hun. So maybe make a play on it. Just a thought. And they didn't do that. And in 3 or 4 of these plays, they had an opportunity to just break it up. 3 or 4 opportunities where the ball probably doesn't even get to the receiver because they actually had decent position. But good Lord, that was some. I was like, hey, put it in perspective here. You're used to seeing Cooper DeJean. You're used to seeing Quenyon Mitchell out there doing their thing. And you have a drop off to this. Hell, you know what? Michael Carter II showed me something yesterday, man. He wanted that smoke. He was all over the field. I liked what I saw from him for the most part. I forgot he was even on the team. But watching Keely Ringo, Jacorian Bennett, and Mac McWilliams was like, oh, that's why you guys don't. I mean, Keely Ringo we had seen try but fail time and time again, so we kind of knew what he was. He made a great play in this game on special teams as a headhunter, and I swear I looked at Seth Joyner and Derek Gunn, and I just went, something's coming here on defense, right? And sure enough, something was coming on defense where he wasn't going to look good. I wasn't saying that as a positive. I was saying, yes, that's what he does well. That's his safe zone. Everything else, not so much. The cornerback play was absolutely pitiful yesterday. If I really had to rank the stupidity of yesterday's game, it would be number 1. I'll start at the top. Just the decision to not play starters when you had an opportunity to advance your seeding. And I'll go back to the feeling of Is this everybody's first day? You have something to play for, you play. That's the bottom line. That's the end-all, be-all. That's the decision maker. They had something to play for. They didn't play. And then to contradict yourself, you still have Devontae Smith play. Interesting. Then I look at how the cornerbacks played in this game because they were just awful. And I talked about the pass interference calls, by the way. 3 of the 4 pass interference calls also came in the 4th quarter, by the way. That's not cool. Terrible, actually. And you know what? I just mentioned the pass interference. There was also 2 5-yard penalties for defensive holding, one on Bennett, one on Ringo. So Mac McWilliams only have 1 pass interference call. Hey, he's ahead of the fray. But I would go in the order of not having your starters start, play calling being straight ass when you have Tanner McKee as your starting quarterback in this game, and you also have Tank Bigsby playing well, and you still decide to be stupid. Third, I would look right at Tanner McKee and be like, dude, like, I know you're a backup, and you're a backup for a reason, but I certainly expected him to play better than what I saw him play, the level I saw him play at yesterday. And this is a guy who has defended Jalen Hurts more than most, and I still expect – I've said all along, throughout the season when the conversation was starting, well, I shouldn't even say conversation, when people were saying dumb stuff, that was the other thing that made me feel about other people's first day. He just won the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts. He balled out in that Super Bowl. He was a Super Bowl MVP. That was his second Super Bowl, by the way. Second Super Bowl, by the way, that he balled out in, by the way. And people said, oh, the backup's pretty good. Really? This season we're going to do that? But the thing I also hated about that was that I was like, don't make me say mean things about Tanner McKee, because I think Tanner McKee can play at the NFL level. I think Tanner McKee could actually be a starting quarterback in the NFL. I know there's some teams in this NFL that would like Tanner McKee to start for now. Well, going into week 18, I'll say that. Good God. He did not play at the level I thought he was going to play at. And the level I thought he was going to play at wasn't even that high. I mean, I thought the Eagles were actually going to win this game 23-17. They'd lose 24-17. And he left some meat on the bone in this game, that's for sure. But that's the way I would look at it. I would look at the decision to sit starters, atrocious play calling, quarterbacks being ass, and Tanner McKee just not playing well in this game. I was specific with the corners. To be more specific with Tanner McKee in this one, here's what I'll look at. Overall, I thought there were plays that he looked skittish. He would see the rush coming, and he would just abandon the pocket way too quick. One thing I'll say is you could see Jalen Hurts, and I pointed this out in one of the plays in the second half against the Bills, that Jalen escaped the pocket. He didn't have to escape the pocket. Yeah, he'll make mistakes, Jalen Hurts. Not everybody's perfect, right? But one thing I never see from Jalen Hurts is I never see him look skittish. Now, you can credit that to him actually being a starting quarterback in the NFL for 5 years now, in the league for 6 years. So, yeah, he should not look skittish. But Tanner McKee, who hadn't made a start since week 18, a year, really. There's going to be moments where maybe you look a little skittish. So, not that surprised, but still don't like it. Obviously, he had some missed throws there. Overthrew Grants in there on the 4th and 3 with a minute 17 left in the game. Eagles actually, by some divine act of God, get the ball back. He misses Britton Covey. There were instances of him running into pressure, unfortunately. The 2nd and 1 play, I believe it was in the 3rd quarter. He's got a 2nd and 1. He feels the pressure. He steps up in the pocket, rolls to his right. And I'm thinking, oh, good, just get the first down. And then it looked like he took a couple of steps parallel to the line of scrimmage. Instead of taking one step forward to get the first down, he throws it incomplete. And then Tank Bigsby actually gets stuffed on this play. They actually do the right thing of running it on 3rd and 1. Here's an example of liking the play call and not liking the result. They then on 3rd and 1 run it up the gut. Bigsby can't get it. It's 4th and 1. They line up to go for it. I don't know if they were trying to draw him off sides or what. They line up to go for it. Grant Calcaterra jumps off sides. Great. But, and then I mentioned the interception before. You had an opportunity there with Jalen Hunt's interception to take it back the other way, man. Or should we take it back and get at least 3 out of it? And on the 3rd and 10 from the 20, I think it was on this play, he reels back from the 24. Or no, sorry, that was Johnson's interception. Yeah, 3rd and 10 from the 20. He reels back trying to force it by his own admission to Jahan Dotson, and it gets picked off. So you're in the red zone. 3rd and 1, they pass. Then they go for it again on 4th and 1. Could have just taken 3. Didn't think they were going to kick the field goal by the way, in that situation. 4th and 1. They go for it. They don't get it. Then after a gift before halftime of an interception by Jalix Hunt, they go into the red zone and they throw the interception, which ends up being 3 the other way. So a 6-point swing there. You could have gone up 10-7. Instead, you're trailing 10-7. Come on, man. But let me go back to the top. Let me go back to number 1. The Philadelphia Eagles did not put this team in the best possible position to have success. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, is it really? Am I crazy? Is this, or is maybe I'm the idiot? Maybe I'm the moron. Maybe that Eagles locker room, maybe everyone was just, everyone was just gassed after playing in the rain in Buffalo. Maybe they just needed the week off. I hate going with the idea. Like, I'm not even going to use the argument that some other people have used, which is you didn't earn it. I mean, it's true. It's certainly not wrong. But aside from not earning it, it doesn't give you the best chance in the playoffs to win. And by the way, in case you haven't heard it yet, yes, they play the San Francisco 49ers, 4:30 Sunday. San Francisco 49ers are not a pushover team. We'll keep track of the health of Brock Purdy for the rest of the week. I know we'll be talking a lot about that. We'll be talking a lot about stopping Christian McCaffrey. It's funny. I don't see the Eagles just getting bounced out in the first round. I mean, I should say this. I'm not betting on the Eagles. Like, I'm not betting the 49ers to win this football game. The Eagles are getting the standard, I think, 3.5 actually at home, a little bit more than the standard. But it's going to be a tough out. And there's a good chance here that this loss and the decision to not play their starters doesn't come back to really haunt them until the second round. What could haunt them more so in the first round, and what certainly bothers me more than seeding, is they not only had something to play for yesterday, they had things to work on. Like, and I said, even before they beat the Bills, I said they're not going to solve all their problems in Week 18. But if Nick Sirianni is going to do what he said he was going to do after the Bills game, which was get even more involved in the offense, then I'd like to see how that it would at least look for, I don't know, half, at the absolute minimum, a quarter. Try to have your first string in there against a terrible Commanders team. You go in there, score a touchdown, score 2 touchdowns. Give your backups, some room to some wiggle room. They're going to make mistakes. I wasn't thinking, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mistakes, not including Tanner McKee's errant throws or bad decisions. But a touchdown or 2 might help with that. Having your starters out there for a hot minute might help with that. But they opted not to do that. So that's fun. That's fun. We're all having fun here. We're all having a good time. Let's get to Nick Sirianni. Here he is on his no surprise, no regrets about not playing the starters despite the fact that they lost.
No, again, you go through your process, you make what you think is the best decision for the football team, and that's what we did. I knew this was an outcome that these things could happen. Like I said to you guys, one thing I could guarantee was giving them rest. I couldn't guarantee anything else. And us being healthy and going into the playoffs healthy is a big deal for us. And, that's served us well in the past. And so, again, I know there'll be debate on that, but, again, I have to do what I think is best for the football team moving forward. And that's what I did.
I hope you guys got that. I don't know if the audio was working on that or not. Just in case it wasn't. He said he didn't regret his starters. All right, let's try one more here. All right, Nick Sirianni now on. Well, if you weren't playing your starters, why did Devontae Smith
You
play?
go about balancing the emphasis on health versus playing Devontae so that he could get the 1,000 yards.
Yeah, we were safe with him as far as what kind of routes we were running and what he was doing. And so, that was something that we decided to do. And obviously you can't rest everybody. There were guys that, as far as D-line reps, some of those guys played into the, through the game. We tried to limit their reps a little bit, but, and play a little bit less than they normally do. But with a position like D-line, those are the circumstances that you have. But yeah, decided to do that so you could go get 1,000, and he came out good.
Again, so Saquon had history last year. He had a chance at history last year, and you opted not to play him. Okay, all right. Devontae said after the game he wanted to play. Okay, good. I don't ever want to see a football player who doesn't want to play. But there we are. And then I do give credit to the media. Like Elliot Short Parks did a good job of asking the question. One about regret that you heard. The other was about, well, how do you balance it with Devontae Smith? There, you heard it there. And then I don't know who asked this question, but the question was, well, what about that jump ball to Devontae Smith that you threw? That was supposed to be a safe route, Nick Sirianni?
Was the jump ball part of the safe routes?
The jump ball?
Maybe jump there between two defenders.
Yeah, that's yeah. You're talking about the 3rd and 1 play action?
Got 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
He had nothing. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Early hit at Fox today, so I'm going to jump into the chat check right now. But first off, I'm going to tell you this. Hey, how about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's PHLSportsNation.com. Also, Locked On 76ers later today, 10 o'clock. Keith Pompey and I chop it up when it comes to the 76ers. Fantastic weekend and beating the New York Knicks. That was a fun game. That was actually the highlight of the weekend. Thanks about that. CM Punk, good morning. Squash, what's going on? Should have played more starters, got a big lead, then pulled them. Thank you. If anything, Tanner's poor showing affects his dismal reflex, his dismal code. I agree. I absolutely agree. Like, I had a feeling that, like, maybe after that first red zone possession, Tanner went over to Jalen Hurts and was like, this is what you've been dealing with all year? Dude, oh, my God. No boxes. What's going on, Rye? How you doing? Good morning. Sirianni never makes the decision, front office puppet. Pretty much. Every other team played their starters anyway. Have a great weekend. Have a great week, Farzy. Thank you, Mullet. Good to see you, bud. Jay, morning, Farzy, and all. Love the pre- and post-game shows. Thank you. Birds better ball out in the playoffs. Expectations are high now that they are rested. Right? They're a rested team. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful, as per usual. Catch more of me on Fox 29 today, and then later today, Locked On 76ers. I'll catch you guys then. Have a great rest of your day.